You've caught me indulging in my passion for equine art, but there are more pressing issues at hand. Who is going to emerge triumphant in the 2010 John Smith's Grand National at Aintree this Saturday? It's due off at 4:15. Let's find out. 2010 John Smith's Grand National is just now a matter of days away. We've got a good idea of what the final field of 40 runners is going to be, and also we've a pretty sound picture of what the market is going to be on the big race day. We're going to have a look now at the first 16 horses in William Hill's betting. We're going to start with Big Fella Thanks. This horse was a winner at Newbury last time. He finished 6th in the National 12 months ago. A bit of a stumbling block for me is the record of Paul Nicholls. He's the champion trainer every year, it seems, in Britain over jumps. He's 0 from 44 though when it comes to the Grand National. That's a bit of a worry at the back of my mind. Mon Mom, he won the race at 100 to 1 last year. He's £7 higher for 2010. He did, however, run an excellent race when 3rd in the Cheltenham Gold Cup last March. That would put him, I would say, on most people's shortlists. Arbor Supreme, he represents Willie Mullins, of course, who won the race with Hedge Hunter in 2005. Pretty low-key build-up for Arbor Supreme. He certainly has to be a leading fancy though. He's proved his stamina over 3 3/4 miles, and he's the mount of the wonder kid, Paul Townend, only 19, but he got round on his only start in the National 12 months ago. Black Apalachee, he's trained by David Yates. He's a past winner of the Beecher Chase over the big fences here at Aintree. He's failed to get round in his last 2 Grand Nationals, however, and I just wonder whether he might have a little bit too much weight this time around. The Package is a horse that many punters will have on their minds. He's trained by David Pipe, who won the race 2 years ago with Comply or Die. Maybe one statistical stumbling block for the Package. He's a 7-year-old. The last 7-year-old to win the race was in 1940. Trickster, he's another one trained by Paul Nicholls. We've talked about the stats being against the champion trainer. I didn't think this one ran a particularly good race in the Gold Cup. He was 9th, and I think he's up against it this time around. Niche Market, he's a former winner of the Irish Grand National. I wonder if he's got too much weight though at Aintree this Saturday. Snowy Morning, he was 3rd in the race 2 years ago. He was 9th last year. He's also trained by Willie Mullins. He's low in the weights for 2010. It might just be that the handicapper has given the horse a bit of a chance this time around. What else have we got? Well, we've got Backstage. Gordon Elliot, of course, he's won the race with Silver Birch in the past. This horse likes good or faster ground. Of course, the Northwest, in common with much of the rest of the country, has been underwater all winter, but now we've got some green shoots of spring, and if there is sunshine in the run-up to the 2010 John Smith's Grand National and the ground turns faster, Backstage would certainly be a horse that you would need on your shortlist this year. Others, well, Can't Buy Time. He didn't stay at Cheltenham over 4 miles a couple of years ago. I'm going to put a line through him. He's been rejected by Tony McCoy by the look of things for Don't Push It, his John Joe O'Neill trained stable companion. That horse won at the Grand National meeting last year, and I can see AP's thinking in going for Don't Push It over Can't Buy Time. A couple of others we should mention. Character Building, out of the money in 2 starts so far in the 2009 to 10 season. I'll be very surprised if John Quinn can't manage to eke out a bit of improvement from Character Building on the big day. State of Play, he won the Hennessy a few years ago. He's not had a race since this year's Hennessy in November, this season's Hennessy in November, but he does go well fresh, and he's certainly a horse that I wouldn't write off, despite the fact that he comes here from a big layoff. Vic Venturi, he's trained by Desi Hughes. I think he might have too much weight here. Whinstone Boy, you may remember Montes Pass won this race in 2003. 3 of the syndicate that own Montes Pass are involved with Whinstone Boy. He needs needs to get into the bottom of the weights, but do look out for market support with Jimmy Mangan's runner, because there was a huge gamble and that landed on National Day by Montes Pass. The final one we're going to look at, and in our 16 strong list, is Comply or Die. Remember, of course, he won the race 2 years ago. I would remember because I tipped him. He's my only Grand National winner for the Mirror so far. He was second last year. I think he's absolutely guaranteed to run his race. I just wonder whether he might just have a little bit too much weight. If we're going to compile a 3-strong shortlist, I'm going to put in Backstage, as long as the rain keeps away in the run-up to the Grand National. I'm also going to throw in Arbor Supreme. I think that he can improve on what he's done this season on Saturday, and I'd also just throw in Character Building. I think this horse will stay, and he's certainly going to prove better than he's been able to show in 2 starts this winter. Well, that's a short list of 3. Don't forget to catch up with everybody's final thoughts about the 2010 John Smith's Grand National, all in Saturday's Daily Mirror and on mirror.co.uk.